it's what's your definition of success? Is it financial? Is it is it like an intrinsic value of like being an artist on whatever level of artist you are? If you're a musician, you're like, you want to be the best pedal steel player, best fiddle player, whatever. For me, it's freedom. It's having the freedom to make any choice, within like reason. My pedal steel player, Dave Alstead, he's just one of my favorite people, and he always said something that made sense to me. He always told me, he's like, I just always wanted to be the master, I guess, of my own universe, or in control. And I didn't understand that, starting out, because I was chasing like I just want to be the most successful version of myself. I just want to work as hard as I can. But then I started finding out like you have to define what your success is. There's people in Nashville that spend their entire life for a piece of fame, and I have no desire for that. I mean, I want to have freedom. I want to spend time with my family.
Thank you for listening to the Farm4Fun podcast, a happy hour spinoff of the Farm for Profit podcast. These episodes are hosted by Tanner Winterhoff, the Iowa Bankerman, David Whitaker, the Iowa Land Guy, and a random farmer named Corey. Each episode, they plan to focus on a brewery or distillery while talking about all current events and everything else. Crack a beer, mix a drink, and join on the fun. Remember, if you aren't farming for fun, we know you probably leave your ladder out on your combine.
Welcome back to the Farm for Profit podcast with another Farm for Fun episode here on the Mullet of Agriculture podcast. This is Tanner Winterhoff, the banker.
This is Corey Hillebo, the farmer.
And this is David Whitaker, the auctioneer and realtor.
We're excited to be here as harvest in the Midwest is starting to kick off with a bunch of people. We appreciate Corey jumping in here, stepping away from the farm a little bit too. And really excited to have a little bit of a new format ahead of us. What do you think, Dave?
I think it's going to be great. I tell you, we have a musician in studio today, and this is going to be the first time to have any music on the podcast. So make sure to like, rate, review, share. Tell us what you think about having music on the podcast. And Corey, are you going to introduce our guest? Do we have a special introduction?
Hell yeah, Tanner did it last week, so I'm taking it back.
I got fired 1 week and I got fired.
You're fired. This week on the Farm for Fun podcast, we have a young, up-and-coming country music songwriter and singer from right here in central Iowa. He has been playing music for 6 years, serenading people at concerts, parties, bars, and even my crawfish boil till wee hours of the morning. He plays around 150 shows a year, all while writing, recording, and singing songs alongside country music Hall of Fame writers. He just finished his second album, which will be out later this fall. We even went to the same high school together. Next on stage, Royce Johns. Welcome
Hello.
to the pod, Royce.
Hello.
That was almost UFC
I
ringside.
can't live up to that hype.
That was amazing. I can see why you fired me.
You like that little strip club reference in the background there, huh?
That was over the top. That was definitely well deserved. Welcome to the podcast.
You
Royce.
should have seen all the guys when I started because they didn't know I was going to go crazy like that. Tanner said we needed more energy.
I was pulling the mic away. Dave was turning the volume down.
So I'm going to be just smacking your ears getting off going here. But tractors are going and combines are going through the field and
choppers and trucks.
Today. Yeah, it's busy time here and the weather's beautiful.
It is gorgeous, and it's September for crying out loud, and we're still we're just starting harvest, and what a way to get ahead with beautiful weather and good conditions.
Yep. So let's get to Royce, our guest here. So I mentioned he played for us at our crawfish boil a few years back. We did a little fundraiser for the wildfires out there. Man, what a great connection we have to someone local and such a talent in the music industry here. Royce, give us a little background about yourself that I didn't cover.
Oh, man. I started playing music when I was 19. I lived in Ames at the time, and I started taking my guitar out to the street corner and getting drunk and playing stuff, and still getting drunk and playing stuff. Nice. But, yeah, man, I've played 150 to 200 shows a year, kind of averaging around 150 the last 4 years. Cut back a little bit. just finished my second album, and pretty excited to show everybody what we've been working on.
So you full-time music? That's all.
Yep.
That's all you do, right? So I mean, we're gonna try to pick your brain about that. But let's get to our first beer here and talk about who we got today, Tanner.
Yes. So our beer, thank you to Dole Distributing for lining it up for us, is an Iowa brewery. It's Backpocket Brewing, and they are locally owned. Their beer is locally brewed, born and brewed right here in Iowa. We're proud to prove our state is more than just a flyover state. We are a craft beer destination is one of the headlines on their website. So unfortunately, we're going to get this first beer out of the way.
Oh, jeez.
It is a black and yellow can. Now, the can is sharp. It's just the wrong colors. But this is their Hocktoberfest, and it is made here in Iowa, 5.3 ABV, and we're going to get some of this poured out. Would you be able to maybe tune up a little bit of our ears here while I pour this out and entertain our guests a little bit?
And tell us what you're going to play, too.
Man, I could do. This is going to be the title track on the new record.
Okay.
It was my buddy Robert Deitch. I was a co-writer on it, and Roger Murrah. And Roger wrote "Don't Rock the Jukebox" and a lot of other hits. So there's a new one we're working on. I've been here before, and I've heard that band. Can't count the times you've been asked to dance on my two hands. You can't blame me for taking in the view. And before the night slips away, I'm asking you, save that one last two-step, a little 3-minute shuffle for me to have my chance. Yeah, just one shot to hold you and wind you up and turn your world around. Now you might think I'm just a drop in lines. A pretty sight like you probably gets this all the time. They try to tune you up, they try to take you home. But before you walk out of here alone, save that one last two-step, a little 3-minute shuffle for me to have my chance. Yeah, just one shot to hold you and wind you up, turn your world around. Let them drink their booze and scoot their boots to charm you. Baby, I just want to be the first to have that one last two-step, a little 3-minute shuffle for me to have my chance. Yeah, just one shot to hold you and wind you up and turn your world around. Just like you wound me up, turn my world upside down.
Awesome.
Dude, that was great.
That is definitely getting me pumped.
I tell you what, you guys are going to need a new sound guy because this is our first music. So if you're listening to this podcast and it seems to go really loud and then really quiet and really loud, I was adjusting the wrong
Sorry,
the wrong input. So I kept trying to turn down and make sure we weren't clipping and picking, but I tell you what, the music was so good. I was trying to pay attention and I was hitting the wrong knobs on there.
It
So
sounded good in my earphones.
we're going to get better at this. I guarantee it.
That
But
won't be the last one he's going to play for us.
I know. So I think we got her honed in here to about perfect.
That was like some honky tonk. I see you got a steel guitar sometimes. I imagine that thing's picking along to that. And, oh man, That's some good stuff. I like me some old country.
We got pedal steel, fiddle. That one's actually fiddle driven.
Really?
We got a twin fiddle intro on that one.
Oh, man.
Have you? I swear I've seen you at the state fair.
Yeah.
Have you played at the state fair?
Iowa Craft.
Yes, at the brewery tent, guys. That's where he's at.
Yeah, like he said, he wants to play music and get drunk.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, in your glass, in your cup, in your plastic Dixie cup
Did
is...
Royce get one of these?
Oh, yes, he did.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not going to leave him out.
All
Not
right.
after
I
that,
just
Jewel.
want to make sure.
Is the Hocktoberfest. So this was originally brewed, I think, in 2014. It's a Marzen-style lager with an Iowa spin, and unfortunately has the black and gold colors.
It does have it on the can. What do you think?
This is the best thing with Hawk on it. I will tell you. It's very good.
It is very good.
It's like a less sweet version of a Blonde Fatale.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a good combination.
I like that. It's like Tailwind kind of.
Yep. That's pretty good. What do you think, Dave?
I like it. Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's saying
right
a lot.
there is saying a lot.
If you are not a beer connoisseur like myself and you're looking for a good beer, I could drink this.
Yeah, it's not too
Which is
sweet.
unfortunate. I might have to
Terrible
rip the
name.
label off.
Great beer.
Yeah, if we had something there with some red and gold, cardinal and gold, maybe it'd be a little bit better. But this again is back pocket.
Yeah.
But that's That's the first one down.
And their hat that they sent with
they
it
sent
even
us,
matches.
They sent us a hat, and they sent us a couple cool glasses that we are going to give away
That's correct.
this week.
We got to figure out how we're going to give it away. You know, I don't know if people actually read the show notes. I thought about playing a game in the show notes. First one to see and respond to a text number, or first one to say something on a comment. I may play around on something in the show notes. So if you've never looked at those,
maybe we should bury something in. They have to go and listen,
ooh.
and then first person to respond with the correct answer.
Hey, there's going to be a game, guys. We'll get this figured out.
There you go.
We're
Maybe
learning on the go.
All right, Royce. I read on your website that you made a trek to Pennsylvania and back. Why'd you go to Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania.
I swear it said that on your website.
Well, when I was like 11, my dad had a work opportunity out there. He went there for a couple years, so lived out there. Lived in York, Pennsylvania for 3 years.
Do you know how hard it is to type Pennsylvania?
I still can't spell it.
No.
I can't.
I didn't
seriously
realize
can't.
I didn't know how to spell it until I wanted to put it down here to not forget about it.
You can't.
Have you been to Hershey, Pennsylvania,
Yes.
where they make the Hershey bar?
We live 40 minutes from Hershey.
I was going to say, that's what I know about Pennsylvania. It's like super fun.
As I was a kid, the Hershey Relays was a real big thing. They always wanted you to go out there as a 10, 12, whatever year old it was to try and go out there and
Yep.
run in the relays.
I went to Hershey, Pennsylvania in college.
To do what? Eat chocolate?
No, well, we did eat some chocolate. We toured some of the stuff there, but it was with the National PAS, the Post-Secondary Agriculture Students of America, whatever, and we won the National Quiz Bowl.
You're so worldly.
I know.
You won a quiz bowl?
We won the we have 5-person. I might have answered like half a question.
That is surprising. I mean, congrats. Way to go. I didn't expect that.
It's like a knockoff FFA
There you
for
go.
college kids. I mean, because you can't continue. You can, but FFA for older people.
So you also mentioned in the introduction that you have played a lot of shows, averaging 150 shows a year, whichever it is. We know how our listeners and agriculture has been affected by the coronavirus. How's that affecting you in performance calendar-wise?
It's actually kind of a good thing because this year, I mean, usually I'm booked 6 months to a year out. You know, like every Friday, Saturday, and dates surrounding. But it's actually pretty cool because we had a daughter in January, so I got all that time off, and it's hard to compensate for time off with the music stuff because you don't really. I mean, I don't like saying no to stuff. I'm a workaholic, but
Yeah.
it's I got to spend pretty much this whole time and just doing a lot of local stuff, but did that and finished my basement and stuff. But
Imagine it helped you get your second album.
yeah. So I've been recording in Muscle Shoals, Alabama for this one, and I've made 4 trips out there, and yeah, it's hard to get 4 days off, and it's 6 days off because it's a drive down there. It's a 12-hour drive, and then 4 days down there and 12 hours back. So, and that's really hard to schedule out when you're doing 4 days a week on stuff.
So how is that? How do you figure out to go to Alabama?
Yeah, it's kind of a long story, but
We've got time.
I stumbled into no, I don't want to. I
It's
just
that long?
no, I mean I don't know. I just stumbled into a guy named Billy Lawson, and he owns a studio down there called Wishbone. And Billy's he's one of the most fantastic writer, producer, engineer. He's just like he's possibly one of the only guys that can do what he does and has done what he's done. I mean, he's a fantastic writer. I mean, he wrote "You Turn Me On" for Tim McGraw. You know, "You flip the switch on my doom, a flotch." He wrote that. He wrote "Look Who's Back from Town" for George Strait. He wrote "You Left Something Turned On at Home" for Trace Atkins. Anyway, but he's also an engineer, so like he knows everything about studio. I mean, he's a fact machine. Like, I mean, he knows. I mean, if you mention anybody in country music pre-2005, he'll either tell you a story about when they hung out and wrote a song, or just, I mean, he knows anything and everything. And getting to work with someone like that, he's a historian, you know, like a modern day country music historian.
Okay.
And getting to work with a guy like that, because I love a lot of the older stuff. And he's like met all these different people, you know, that I've kind of like, you know.
So are you on TikTok? Are you like making a TikTok presence to be on iTunes to like get? I've watched a couple guys on TikTok doing that, and they've kind of been
blow up.
Yeah, they blow up.
So get this, I didn't have TikTok, right?
Yeah.
I got a text from a buddy of mine about a month ago, like 2 months ago, and he says, "Hey man, check this out. It's just somebody TikToking to a song we recorded in 2018 called Truck Stop Souvenirs, and someone's TikToking to it," and I'm like, "Huh." I don't even have the app, so I'm like, okay, I download the app and just take a look. I go down this rabbit hole, like it's like a hat thread.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
There's
a big rabbit hole.
827 people TikToking to my song.
To your song.
And I don't even have an account on TikTok.
Yeah.
And there's like millions of TikTok streams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't really know how it works, but yeah, it's super strange. And it's like weird because these like truckers will get on there and they'll like lip sync to my song.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? You know, like full grown men, like 40, 50-year-old dudes downloading an app that 12-year-olds were using. And they're like, Daddy spent 5 out of 7 days. And they're like just going all out on it. It's hilarious.
So we're all on TikTok.
Dude, oh my God.
And I don't know.
This is hilarious. This is possibly the funniest thing I've ever seen on the internet. It is a weird phenomena of like middle-aged dudes. I don't know, man. I don't know what connection. I don't understand, but
There's a farming TikTok. There's trucking TikTok. I mean, it's not all 12-year-old girls dancing like you
Yeah,
like you said.
right.
You get it.
Yeah, you get
Dude.
into some sports and some trick shots. I mean, I get on some of those rabbit holes of watching guys hit trick shots with golf clubs and golf balls.
I'm in an auctioneer contest on TikTok. All the auctioneers from across the land are going to post their stuff, and we're going to have people judge it. So
apparently they just took it off the App Store Sunday.
Oh, really?
I heard there was news.
They
of
were
that.
going to.
Then they postponed it.
Oh,
We still have it.
Because now what? Walmart or Oracle is going to buy it.
Something.
I heard
Yeah.
Walmart bought it.
It's going to be TikTok Global. That's what's going to be traded as.
All right, I'm gonna.
What's your next drink? I'm empty. I actually like that one, guys. What's the?
We are. Yeah. One of the things is these cans.
This is the most 2020 beer name you can have.
I do like the beer name, but the cans alone, they're all that bright silver can, like a Coors Light color, but then they pop out with a dark navy. I'm pretty sure it's a navy, except for that other ugly beer. A dark navy and a very uniform approach to their labeling. I really like this. What I'm going to pour next is called Murder Horn, the Belgian style Murder Horn Golden Ale.
I thought it was Murder Hornet.
That's why.
I could put an ET on the end of that. Again, this is Backpocket Brewing.
Oh, here it is. I don't know if it'll do it or not if I don't have the app. Oh, dude, this is the best one. One of these has 250,000 TikTok streams.
Let's take a minute and let's see this.
Oh, you got it's loading. This is. This made my life when I saw this guy doing this. There's some emotion in here. Okay,
He's about crying.
I know.
He's not lip syncing
selling
very
it.
good either, but he's.
He didn't get the vocals to match up.
He's
right.
selling it, man.
Yeah, he was. That was some passion there.
That's awesome. Well, that's got to make you feel good. Do you have like a? So what's your long goal? What's your dream in music?
Retire at 30.
Wait,
Ding
so
dong.
we should.
Wait, how old are you?
Yeah, we got to give this here.
25.
Born in 1995.
Yep.
Wow. 5 years.
Yep.
19. Did we check the 21-year-old age limit here?
No.
Yeah, we check IDs at the
15
door.
now.
Yeah.
So what's the game plan for that?
Work a little bit more. It's a long. It's I guess the country music climate is very strange right now, especially with coronavirus, because all the money is made from touring. Like there's no money in basically no money in selling the music itself. There's some money in licensing, and you can sell physical copies, of course, but you're going to spend so much on recording the song and promoting the song. You name it, anybody, they are making their money through touring, and these labels, the handful of even ones that make any sense, that most of them really don't, they make their money from the artist touring. And if these guys aren't touring, it's like there's going to be a lot of tour bus liquidation going on.
So that's the push for these drive-in concerts and trying to get things
just
like
trying
that.
to figure it out, man.
Right.
I mean, it's already. I mean, we were going down to Nashville last couple of years, just working, and like a lot of people are just trying to figure out how to make a living. Like guys who have written #1 songs that like are leaving town because they're like, even with these hits under my belt that we're still making money on, we can't figure out a way to write. Like they got these 5-way co-writes where it's like, even with 50 million streams, it doesn't mean anything. You're getting 0.6 of a penny on a stream. That's the total cut. So divide that 6 ways
or more.
Yeah, 1/10 of a penny per stream. So a million streams for that would be $100 for that person.
Sounds like farming.
Sounds like farming.
You only get paid if you get a podcast.
There you go.
Well, here's not a bad. Let's throw some liquid gold down our here. Let's give the Murder Hornet. Oh no, I'm
this
kidding.
is the Murder Hornet.
The Murder Hornet.
It's a Belgian-style golden ale from Backpocket.
All right,
Made
Take
right here
me
in
to
Iowa.
town.
10.2%.
Oh,
So watch it.
whoa, bottoms
Watch
up.
it.
You were watching. I was curbing my reaction to that one.
Okay, so that brings more of the Blonde Fatale
Yeah.
back in, like that you were talking about.
The aftertaste kind of gets
it
you
does. Yeah, I don't know.
there. Not to keep comparing it. We haven't even tried that one on the podcast yet. Just another familiar beer, but that I'm trying to think. It does. It almost has an IPA type.
But it doesn't have the hops.
No. Yeah.
It's,
Man, this is a tough one to describe.
Is it like a...
It just tastes like a normal
is
beer
it like
to
a
me.
fruit or something in the back of it?
Even before your first sip, the nose of this Belgian golden ale packs a punch. Dominated by yeast, fruit notes, all hop aromas are buried under a balanced flavor. The dry finish with a touch of boozy heat rounds out this golden ale.
She's looking pretty boozy.
Yeah. I think I'd order another one. I don't dislike it. It's a very flavorful beer.
Mm-hmm.
So-
Should we listen to another song while we drink it?
I'm guessing it's just because I listen to country music all the time that if you play country music, you play old country music, that everybody's asking you to play Chris Stapleton Tennessee Whiskey like every place you're probably ever at.
Yeah. I like the George Jones cut.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Give me some Jones. I love Jones.
Actually, we just recorded a song, What My Woman Can't Do. The guy that wrote that, Peanut Montgomery, he wrote 73 George Jones songs. 53 were #1 were singles. And he was in George. He was a bass. He played bass he was a Jones boy. And the reason George Jones moved to Muscle Shoals was because of Peanut. And if you read his 1995 autobiography, like a whole chapter talks about Peanut and his wife Darlene. I've met Peanut and Darlene, and I got to record one of his songs, like in Muscle Shoals. It's just like family and history down there,
Yeah.
And it's cool, man.
So do most singers, are they songwriters too? Or are most of the songs that we get mainstream actually out written by somebody else?
They're written by most. I don't know. Written or co-written by other people.
Had somebody
on the
else's.
radio. Yeah,
Had part of it.
yeah. Because what happens is you get a lot of. I mean, I'm not really a writer. I've written a dozen songs, maybe. I've been part of writing half a dozen songs. But you get people that basically have a 9-to-5 job. They walk in, you go to a room, you like co-write 2-3 songs a day, and you're expected to write however many 100 songs a year, and they just turn them in, and those songs get pitched to large artists like Kelsey Ballerini or whatever,
I think that's kind of neat that that's the first name he picked out. Was Kelsey Ballerini.
Kelsey Ballerini.
Well,
Keith Urban, he's Australian.
do you have another one that you could queue up for us?
This was the title track on the last CD, and it was written by an Iowa songwriter, Robert Deitch. Daddy spent 5 out of 7 days chasing $1 down the interstate so Mom could stay home and raise us kids. Every night that phone would ring, catch 'em up on everything, like where we went, with who and what we did. Every Friday night he'd pull into the drive. Now and then he'd bring a surprise, like a snow globe from Niagara Falls, a little toy train from Saginaw, an Elvis clock with crazy dancing legs, and Matchbox NASCAR number 3, a cowboy hat from Tennessee. Yeah, even though he wasn't always here, his love was always near, with truck stop souvenirs. He towed home an old Chevy truck, said, son, me and you can fix her up. Let's get a little grease on our hands. Tore that old rust bucket apart, till I knew every nut and bolt by heart, and more than that, I got to know the man. It was 2 long years till she was ready for her first drive. So we dressed her up, tricked her out in style, with a big 8-ball for shifting gears, fuzzy dice for the rear view mirror, and mud flaps with a naked silver girl. Bobblehead doll in a hula skirt, more chrome than that truck was worth. Man, you can't put a price on those years, for what he gave with his love, sweat, and tears, and truck stop souvenirs. Now there's a million miles of memories in this rear view mirror. Sometimes the road before me ain't always clear, but I know my daddy's here to help me steer. He's always near, with truck stop souvenirs.
All right. That was Royce Johns on WMG The Farm.
F4P, the farm.
I like it.
That is fantastic. I'm already enjoying this so much that I have a feeling no matter what the listener thinks, we're going to do more of these.
Yeah, screw you guys.
That's right. This is fun. And he's good.
Yeah, right. And truck stop, right? Souvenirs. Have you ever been to the I-80 truck stop? The world's largest truck stop? I was thinking about that the entire time.
So much chrome.
So much chrome.
RoyceJohns.com. That's exactly how you get a hold of them. That's how they book you if they want you to come out and hang out. And you're open to anything, correct? You can always say no.
Yeah, pretty much anything.
There you go. I like this.
Funerals, bar mitzvahs, swingers clubs.
Little barn potties. Maybe some post 2020 harvest parties after we get done picking this corn up.
2021?
Well, they're going to be happy. They're going to be crazy happy that CFAP 2 payment just came out. Now they're going to have enough to afford them. You know,
there you go.
Maybe.
I haven't heard enough details on that.
It's an $80,000 payment. Sweet.
That's right. $80,000.
That's right.
Some probably will get that much.
Can you just have that made out to Royce Johns? No, that was fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was really a treat.
There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world, and we've been dealing with this COVID for so long, and we keep having to talk about it.
Are you an NFL fan? Do you have an NFL team?
I've never watched a full game of sports in my life.
Nice.
I'm a weirdo, man.
Well,
Straight weirdo.
just so you know, so the NFL started playing a couple weeks ago, and I just saw this headline that the NFL itself is fining coaches Sean Payton and John Gruden for not wearing their masks $100,000 apiece.
Rowdy.
Just for not wearing their masks. There's over $250,000 in fines for their teams. All in all, the NFL has fined over $1.7 million to teams for not wearing masks.
Where does that money go? Does that go to charity?
Where's it come from? There's no fans in the stands. I mean, there's very few fans in the stands. I mean,
Back in the
old money.
NFL.
A lot of
To pay more people.
right,
Yeah.
just to pay.
It's all public perception. I mean, if they're practicing, are they wearing masks? Probably not. So yet they're getting fined at the games. It's a statement made no matter what side of the aisle you're on for public perception, because my opinion anyway.
I'm trying to throw logic into this. I understand that there are certain situations to where that needs to be done. But the logic I'm throwing into this is these players and coaches have to test.
Oh, they're testing all the time.
Correct. And if they're negative tests, why inside the stadium
With no fans.
with no fans are
No
we
fans.
required to wear a mask? I mean, in my opinion, that sideline is no different than the locker room. And I doubt they're putting masks on in the locker room.
Can I fine you guys for not wearing masks in the studio in my building here?
Please do.
Nope.
I mean, maybe I can make some killing and make
The
up COVID money.
only fine that you can do is for another beer sample.
Oh man.
While he's opening that, this last week was Farm Safety Week, and this current week, as we're releasing this, is Farm Dairy Week. So we just want to say, going into a tough fall, especially around here, but everywhere, it's going to be long hours. Be careful around equipment. And this week, as every week in my life, I eat a crap ton of cheese.
Yeah.
Drink milk.
Well, it's dairy.
Yeah, help them out. They need it.
Royce,
good stuff.
what's your favorite form of dairy?
Cheese, man.
Cheese? Not ice cream?
Cheese. No, cheese.
My wife gets pissed at me. She gets those
Cheese.
Anderson Erickson cottage cheese tubs,
Yeah.
and I like that better than like chip dip.
Hmm.
I'll eat like a half tub of that in one sitting, and it's gone in a day and a half. And she's like, "Where'd it go?" That's like the only thing I eat.
Well, there
So
you
the hashtag Farm Safety Week has been kind of neat to follow. There's a lot of unfortunate stories out there, but a lot of things that bring alertness to what you're doing. And I really thank Boyd with Key Co-op on our Dracho Part 2 episode. He really did a good job of outlining this, because I've been helping unplug my in-laws' corn head as we're getting ready to chop some stuff.
Yep.
And that right there, every time I lean in there, I make sure it's stopped. I make sure everything's turned off. I got the attention of whoever's driving to really pay attention. And I'd like to say I would do that if I didn't hear that reminder. But this is our reminder to you. If you're listening to this, it's not worth it.
Shut
Slow
the machine
down.
off. Pull the keys. Put your cylinder stops down.
Yep.
Stay away from PTOs.
Stay away from the PTO.
Keep,
Yes.
I
keep
just-
the kids away from.
saw somebody
Bad
on
stuff.
PTO and all the clothes were wrapped around it, and he lived, but that was a
Lucky.
We're going to have to get someone with the Farm4Fun organization on here too, because I saw they did a really good demonstration with some grain bin recovery, and they showed one of those instances too. That's probably the bummer too with local schools right now, not being able to do some of these demonstrations. I know there's some Fall Safety Week stuff that happens, and I sure hope that's going on.
Well, you bet. Well, let me talk about this next beer here, guys. It is, if you could see this, and we'll take pictures and get it to you on social media. It is a cat, like a pussy cat with a ray gun. And it's a cat with this gun in his hand, and that is the name of the beer. Backpocket Brewing, Ray Gun Volume 2, Indian Pale Ale here, guys. 6.2% alcohol by volume. It's made with Citra and Mosaic hops.
We've created this juice bomb of an IPA, graciously hopped with Citra and Mosaic hops. Give it a tropical aroma, both citrus flavors, Gary approved.
Dave's gonna drink it. This is great. It's an IPA.
I didn't even try it
It's
yet.
a-
It just smells
it's
of
a-
the... No.
It's good.
Man, that
It's
first one
good.
was so good. I had high hopes. Backpocket Brewing has something for everyone.
Always send us an IPA. It's
This
perfect.
isn't even that
It's
potent
not-
of an
it's
IPA.
not
No,
even that potent.
This isn't as bad as that dark, whatever we had, coffee stain.
The Tyrant of Darkness.
That was
Tyrant
awesome.
of Darkness. I
Yeah.
knew there was dark in the well. No, it was good. It was
You
good.
know it was an awesome beer if it made it into a second podcast.
And
Yeah,
thank
that's
you, Dole Distributing, for setting us up with this.
Yes, this was fantastic. Helping us out during harvest. We're all getting super busy. We really appreciate you tuning into the podcast, and especially Royce for popping up here and playing us some tunes. We hope you're getting as much enjoyment out of this as we are. This is certainly an absolute ton of fun. So, as a musician, I'm always curious, do you have a favorite artist? Do you have a favorite song? Is there a song that you hope gets request or you play in every set? What about that? What about music?
Can I answer this for him?
Yeah.
It's just the first, what I think he's going to say.
Kelsey Ballerini?
No,
Kelsey
Wheeler Walker
Wheeler
Jr.
Walker Jr.
Keith Urban, he's Australian.
Drop him out.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I've done my fair share of weird.
Yeah.
You guys must have went to high school.
It's
together.
always at we didn't, well, he was way behind me, but we went to the same high school, but always at 2 in the morning. He plays a Wheeler.
I'll do it. I can never have a normal job.
Can you play your favorite song and we'll see if we can decipher it without singing it for a little bit?
And go ahead and answer that question because I just wanted to throw.
Yeah, I asked him 4 questions and you interrupted all of them.
I'm still one's in the queue. Yeah, Wheeler Walker Jr. So I can never have a normal job because there's so much so many people that have so much evidence on me. I'm serious. If I went to school right now, if I finished out, if I got 2 more years of school or whatever, got my teaching degree, I'd be like an elementary teacher in my mid-40s, and all of a sudden, some cell phone video of me playing Wheeler Walker Jr. from 2016 services.
Yeah.
Jobless. Forever.
Can you imagine if you tried to be like a politician?
No.
Oh, mercy.
No, 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
I was on this-
Campaign would not last.
No.
2 weeks.
So, who is the favorite?
Oh, man. That's like an impossible question. I love, there's so many that Vern Goslin's one of my favorite voices. I've heard, I don't know. I love Bob Wills. I like all the stereotypical, Hank Willie, Waylon, of course, Johnny Cash.
Who do you like of the last, our new generation?
Last 20, 30, you mean 30 years, I guess, 90?
Give me 20, 30, and then give me 5.
He's talking bro country.
No, I'm not talking bro country. There's still some real.
I don't know. Daryl Singletary, I would say was the best living voice of country music before he died in 2016. If you listen to there's an album, it's 2002. It's called "It's Why I Sing This Way," and he takes all his favorite artists, different voices and phrasings that influenced him. And if you listen to that, it's like he sings. He does George Jones better than George. It's like a joke,
Yeah.
Sammy Kershaw actually, he did a whole George Jones tribute album. He's a big George Jones fan, and these guys you hear from the '90s, you just know them from their hits, but they actually have super dynamic voices. I don't know. I would say those two are probably my favorite right now.
So on the new stuff, do you get into the Tyler Childers?
Oh,
and
yeah,
the Sturgill.
Sturgill's actually my favorite new guy. Right
There we go. See, that's what I'm.
Yeah.
Sturgill's
There we go.
God as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
He is the embodiment of what an artist is, man. The guy drops an anime movie on Netflix with this just weird rock album. It's great. It's fantastic, but he just doesn't care. The guy goes sits outside the CMAs and plays busks with a Grammy in his guitar case. He just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's that cool.
That's awesome.
Doesn't have Facebook. This dude doesn't have Facebook.
I think I could go without.
I
Facebook.
love it. I love it, man.
I could do no Facebook. No, you talk about Twitter and TikTok.
I think everyone could get off Facebook.
I just deleted Instagram yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, I just don't. Why do I need it? It's a useless tool. It's not even a tool. Facebook is a tool. It's the only reason I use it.
Yeah.
If I did not play music, I would not have it. It's an addictive dopamine. That's why I don't even have the app on my phone. It's a dopamine slot machine in your pocket all day. It is. It's horrible.
Dopamine slot machine in your pocket. Word of the day. Right
I'm going to have to put that in the show notes.
Well, it's true. You take it out of your pocket, what do you got for me here?
Right.
Ooh,
That's a
little
good
hit
point.
of dopamine here.
Yeah.
Well, you said you had another one in the queue.
Oh yeah.
Why don't you tune her up?
This is a new one I haven't even played out yet. This was written by Billy Lawson and Ed Hill. It's called Old Gringo. Pretty women come few and far between. But back in your day, you were a loving machine. You drank your tequila, never worried about your soul, as you're wasting your life away in some casino. Oh, gringo. You've got kids that haven't spoke to you in years, but being alone has never been your fear. But you're seeing things much clearer, looking through the smoke, as you're dealing cards somewhere out in Reno. Oh, gringo. This new world's not a place for an old outlaw like you. You're too hard to ride 'cause you never been broke. There's no polish in your buckle or the spurs on your boots, and no one speaks your lingo. Oh, gringo. Oh, gringo, look at your hands. What did you do with all that sand? This new world's not a place for an old outlaw like you. You're too hard to ride 'cause you never been broke. There's no polish in your buckle or the spurs on your boots. No one speaks your lingo. Old gringo. Pretty women come few and far between. Back in your day, you were a loving machine.
Outstanding.
Great.
I'm out here. I don't know if I've ever listened to lyrics more attentively than I have this afternoon.
Yeah. No, that's great.
And I'm out here running around, taking pictures, trying to get videos, trying to share this experience with everybody else.
Welcome to the social dilemma of 2020.
social
Nobody is present.
Isn't that a new Netflix series?
Watch it.
Social Dilemma?
The social dilemma.
The Social Dilemma. Yeah, that's what I thought. I just saw it on.
He was just preaching the social dilemma to us on the
I've said it for years.
dopamine slinging.
Yeah.
I mean, I've spent a lot of money on Facebook, trying to advertising and figuring out what people get interested in.
Yep.
And after that, I'm like, our daughter's not on the internet. The only reason I don't use my personal Facebook.
Yep.
The only thing I post is about music.
Yep.
My wife is hardly on Facebook. She can't stand it. That's the only social media I have, and I still think it's too much.
I think it's a lot to live by right there. I think that's good.
Dopamine slinging.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
You said slinging, and that is literally the next beer is Slingshot.
Oh, mercy.
Backpocket Brewing. Slingshot.
Slingshot Dunkel.
Well, this one ain't bad. This is good.
What's a Dunkel?
I don't know what a dunkel is.
I know what you know what a dongle is?
A dongle? That's what we plug into my phone to
That's
play the
exactly
intro music.
right. That's right. A USB dongle.
That's a dongle?
That's a dongle, not a dunkel. That's a
You
dongle.
learn something every day. I
like
did
this.
not know that.
Yeah,
It's like Guinness almost.
You know,
It's like the thinness of it.
I actually almost feel like it's not almond. What's the nut I'm trying to think of? There's almost a...
Pistachio?
Nope, not pistachio.
I just wanted to say that.
So it's a darker color. This beer is a darker
It's
color.
amber.
It's an amber. It is. It almost has a red. I'm holding it up in front of Dave's beautiful garage doors. This is a little bit more of a red beer. Well, let's see here. What's not to love about Dunkels? I guess I don't know.
I don't know.
Rich and malty with a balanced sweetness. This is an easy drinking lager for year-round favorite with a nutty, bready aroma. All hop characteristics are mellowed out to create a smooth, drinkable beer.
Well, aren't you the connoisseur?
Is it like a walnut?
I'm getting better at this. We talked about how coronavirus is affecting Royce's touring and his nights playing and where his destinations are headed. You survived the coronavirus, Corey.
I did have the coronavirus.
But you had explained to me a little bit here that you don't understand why the testing process is the way that it is.
Yeah, it pisses me off, and maybe someone can correct me, someone much smarter than me. I get the virus and the actual vaccine is going to take a lot of science and figuring out and testing. But we've been in this for 8 months?
Yep.
8 months now? And our testing process is almost the exact same. And so I just put a little timeline in. I felt symptoms on a Tuesday morning. I tried to go on to test Iowa, and they couldn't get me until Wednesday at 10 o'clock. And then they said 2 to 4 days or 2 to 3 days for test results. Look at all that time. I mean, it could have been Friday or Saturday or the next Monday before I got results back. If I could have been out.
Right, you could have still been
I
wandering
was like,
around.
it's just a cold, it's just a sinus infection, or it's just, allergies. But I went to a private testing deal and they say it's not as accurate, but I found out I was positive in 30 minutes.
Huh.
Why I think it's probably just because the government's got its hands on it, the healthcare system's got its hands on it. I don't understand. Why does it take so long? So that's my gripe of the day.
Well, and I see it being a gripe of a lot of people, because if you end up with a symptom and you can't go someplace, like my sister gets married this weekend, so by the time this airs, hopefully she's married, and they want to go on a honeymoon, but you have to present a negative test before you can go where they're going. Same thing. It has to be within 10 days. Okay, so do you start on day 12 because it's going to take 2 days to get the results? Because what if the off chance you're carrying it?
Yeah.
You just don't know. I mean, one of the posts I saw out there on social media is, and they said don't jinx it, so I'm going to try not to, is these elevators. What happens if some of their staff is positive? And now you don't have guys at the dump. You don't have guys in the scale house. You don't have, all the precautions.
It's not like you can just bring someone in that.
Well, we've talked about it.
I bet they could. There's enough old ladies out there that used to run every elevator.
But you talk about the elevators right now that we talked to on the Dracho episodes about how they're shuffling grain around. I mean, they're moving grain around like, it's going to be moved from this location to this location. Some are damaged. Some are only receiving only. Those aren't the types of guys that you can replace right off. Finding someone who can drive truck, move grain around.
Or just, I think of our own grain system and like all the you got to put this knob over here and flip that lever. Like, it doesn't make any sense, but you know it because you've done it 100 times. But, no one can just go into that position and put grain up and dry it and move it. It's not easy.
So our feature this week, just a reminder, is Backpocket Brewing. They're out of Coralville, Iowa. Truth is, you can tell a lot about a man by what he keeps in his back pocket. That's not a bad line right there. What would people be able to tell about you, Corey?
I quit putting my wallet in my back pocket.
You got nothing in the back pocket?
No.
Royce?
I'm empty.
What's in your back pocket?
The wallet I've had since 2006.
That's like $1 million. Holy cow.
Do you see how thick that thing was? I don't think I've ever seen a wallet that thick.
$12.
That was loaded.
It's a lot of 6, 10 pennies.
A lot. You can tell a lot about a person what they have in their back pocket. Useful pocket knife, a lucky coin, a worn out photo from an old love, whatever it is, even if it wound up there by accident. Well, that's true. Stuff that runs through the washing machine. There's a lot of stuff that winds up there by accident. A story that probably won't come out until you are in the right place, the right time, talking to the right people with the right beer in hand. That's Backpocket Brewing.
Yeah.
They have all different flavors that you can pick what the right beer in hand is.
These guys have been fantastic. Like I said, we've got glasses here that we can give away and ship your direction. So we'll make sure it's clear how you can figure that out and maybe be one of the lucky recipients of those. We've tasted 4 beers, one with a really ugly labeling on it. All of them have tasted great.
Very good.
The only thing I would do is just change the labeling on that Oktoberfest.
Yeah. Just call it Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest.
Hey, that's saying we don't have any listeners in eastern Iowa, but I bet
Well, I know we do, but they need to let me know that I'm
We
not
like
right.
to get on their nerves.
Well, they can send us.
But they provided us with enough samples for us to be able to take home, try,
Mercy.
enjoy, and possibly even be able to share with you guys too. So
So instead of your question that you normally ask people, let's drill in with some more music questions. I'm still curious.
yeah, I'm
About,
just as
like,
curious as you are. This
Future.
this
and
episode's
that's
going to be
a-
longer than normal because I'm.
Let's crack that last beer, and then we'll let him play us out on one more.
Well, if
Yeah.
every one of our listeners stream your music, then you will be 25
6
cents cheaper.
6 cents.
All right.
No, your time up here. I've had a bunch of fun with this too, and I know we're not done yet. One of the other posts that Corey sent me throughout the week is the California governor. The California governor just signed, and I don't even know how they can do this. The California governor signed a bill. Is it a bill or an action or what?
It was an executive order.
I missed it. What is it?
An executive order that all vehicles in the next 15 years will be zero emissions.
All
Zero.
vehicles sold.
Sold.
All new vehicles sold in 15 years.
In California.
California will be zero emissions.
We
How is
know
that
what it
possible?
is.
Where does electricity come from?
Yeah, you're right. Well, then they'll have cleaner air and we won't.
Where do the tires?
Who maintenances the roads? That's
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem.
Yeah, where do the tires come from?
Seriously.
How is it made?
Unless we're like George Jetson and we're flying. You know, Uber has a rideshare program now where we're going to be flying. They have flying cars already like testing right now.
Yeah. What's the
So-
process to make I get wind energy and hydro energy, and what's the process to make a wind turbine? A lot of metal and electrical and stuff. So, I mean, I don't see how it's possible. It's just California being California. Hopefully it doesn't go through.
Yeah, I don't know. That's crazy. But, well, and then they got all the wildfires going right now. So
Yeah.
zero wildfires. Hashtag nothing. No
Maybe,
smoke.
well, someone had a post like of you could see Mexico and California, and then you could go all the way up and see Canada. So you could see both borders. And there's wildfires. They had a wildfire wherever one was. And there was like none once you cross the border.
Well, the fires don't go across the border. So they're
Well,
totally global warming. I mean, for sure.
So maybe they should just manage their forests?
Maybe.
Or not do gender reveals with tannerite,
With
where
tannerite.
it hasn't rained for 4 months, and with kindling all around.
Well, they wouldn't be social media famous if that was the case. Yeah.
No, they're famous now
Yeah.
for the wrong reasons.
There you go. Well, it's the dopamine they kicking in right there.
Yep.
Notification to get it back to you. So
80,000 red little bells popping up on your Facebook.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what? You know
And
what's
death
good?
threats.
You know what's good though? I did find on TikTok is firefighter TikTok,
yeah.
and me and my daughter watched it for like 10 minutes the other night of all the airplanes.
Only 10 minutes?
Yeah, all the
I
airplanes
think I spent over a half hour.
flying over the forest fires. And
So do you search like certain things on
someone
TikTok?
yeah, it was like a hashtag like firefighters of TikTok or something, and click on that. And then
I saw somebody setting a barrier, and they were just spraying out a bright pink liquid on the hillside.
Yeah.
And they said that one truck goes 8 miles.
it's like 30-some thousand gallons
Yeah.
of fire retardant.
Yep. AFFF. Aqueous film foaming foam is what they call
Yeah.
that.
Huge
eight?
tankers.
Say that fast again.
AFFF. Aqueous film.
Yes, I knew you couldn't do it.
Yeah, I can.
There's absolutely no way that you could do that. All right. At the last beer, we don't even apologize. This podcast is going longer than the other.
No.
We're having a blast. We hope you're having a good time listening to us. This is the gold coin. And this is Royce Johns.
Hello, darling.
I've swing danced to your music at the State Fair.
People pass through, they often don't see. Stories are told, laughter is free. We all get younger, he's growing old. He sits at the bar, and people are told. Dancing dogs on the wall, and the music they play. Old liquor bottles getting better with age. your best barstool neighbor. He'll probably stay later. He's a fixture at the Greenwood Lounge.
Oh, it's gone.
That's on me.
What'd you do?
My phone screen went off.
Oh, hey.
Perfect. Now match that up.
Time passes by, but for him it's
This is the Golden Rule beer?
Like
Golden
the ice
coin.
in his
Golden
glass.
coin.
He's cold from memories of her. The days just go by like the clock on the wall that no longer tells time. Dancing dogs on the wall and the music they play. Old liquor bottles getting better with age. He's your best barstool neighbor. He'll probably stay later. He's a fixture at the Greenwood Lounge.
Where is the Greenwood Lounge?
Des Moines,
it
Iowa,
is.
huh?
It's down on Ingersoll,
It's
isn't
the
it?
oldest bar in Des Moines.
Is it on Ingersoll? Yes.
Really?
Next to the Star Bar.
Yes.
Or just down-
down the road, but yeah.
I have been there.
Like,
Oh, you know what bar
I'm
I
trying
like
to think
in
of where
Des
it
Moines?
is. Court Avenue?
No, Ingersoll.
Have you guys ever been to Carl's in Des Moines?
Yeah, Carl's place.
Yeah.
That's
He
cool.
was
I've
shut-
been there.
He was shut down for a while. I like that bar.
They had a Tuesday night blues jam I used to go to.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good bar.
So what's been your favorite venue? Do you have a favorite venue?
Oh, I'd get in trouble if I said it. So.
What kind of venue?
I love
what
them
makes
all.
it good?
Oh, I mean, I used to love, like, I used to play at Beer Can Alley in Okoboji, and that was fun. It's just like a big party, and it's just kind of you shift from what's fun, and it's and I stopped, I guess, drinking as much as I did at the shows and stuff. I mean, I still do occasionally if I'm bored.
Yeah.
If I'm bored.
If I'm really bored, but
I figured he would have rattled off that Hillabo Family Farms.
Oh, that
the
probably.
crawfish boil.
it mostly comes down to my drive. Like, if I got a far drive, I can't be drinking.
That's
Yeah.
a good
I'm
point.
doing my alone thing, and then I like the Greenwood though, because it's like a listening room. It's like the last listening room in Des Moines. If there ever was anything, where people actually come, they hang out. I'll bring my full band. It's like the size of that bar is the size of this lobby we're sitting
Yeah.
in. Maybe past,
Yeah.
but everybody pulls up a chair and then just quiet.
Just listens.
Yeah, and we got 6 people up there, like some of the best guys who played with, all the Iowa dudes, fiddle steel, like no electric, like no distorted guitar,
Mm-hmm.
kind of Texas swing stuff, and we have a hoot, man.
So does your family play, wife sing with you?
Nope, nobody in my family plays.
Nothing, huh?
I told my wife she can sing, but she doesn't want to. She's really private about it.
And that's part of it.
Yep.
So, Royce, every podcast we always ask people what they think the most successful traits are of farmers. Obviously, we're not going to ask that of you, but I am going to try and pick your brain. The musicians that you know,
Yeah.
what's made them successful? So think about that. We're going to try this beer and talk about it a little bit. And then after that, if you could send us out with maybe something, we'd enjoy it, and we'll go that route. So, gentlemen, this was the Gold Coin
Yep. It's a
Blonde Lager.
blonde lager.
It's got like a tart taste to
That
it.
is. I'm going to be honest. This isn't my favorite. I mean, it's good.
Light, simple, drinkable. This Golden Blonde Lager was one of their first beers. It's crisp, refreshing, and simply delicious. It's not my pick of the day.
Well, your hesitation tells me
It's not bad. No, it's not bad. I'm not
And that's-
saying I'm not gagging on it or anything, but I am going to pick one of the other 4 we've had before this.
well, that's the one with the can you didn't like.
What do you think, Royce? Have you tried it?
Yeah, it's at least it's like thinner.
Yeah.
Yep.
I could drink it.
Yep.
It's got like a lighter beer.
Yep.
All right, guys. We have the Murder Hornet,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gold Coin, some
Oktoberfest.
stupid black and gold beer,
And then the ray gun with the pussycat on the front.
and Slingshot. What do you got? Starting with Dave.
Oh, definitely the first one. The Oktoberfest was outstanding, to tell you the truth.
I'm going to go with the Dunkel.
You're the Dunkel
New
fan?
word, slingshot, amber ale. Give me some of that.
They asked us, what is not to love about a Dunkel?
Exactly.
And I actually think that the Murder Hornet, it's actually Murder Horn. The Murder Horn would be my pick of the choice. Do you have a favorite, Royce?
I'm going to agree with you. There's a second one, right?
Murder Horn, yep.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
No, these are really good beers. Backpocket Brewing, Coralville, Iowa. All of them made in Iowa. Definitely a really good experience. We've got some stuff to give away, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah. Thank Dole Distributing again.
Dole
for
Distributing.
bringing that out. Yeah.
Yes, most certainly. And Dole will be with us for, I think, the next 5 weeks.
Awesome.
Or the next 5 episodes, not weeks.
Hopefully they just stay with us as long as harvest goes.
That would be fantastic.
Yes.
No, that would be absolutely a ton of fun.
And Royce, tell our listeners where they can find you. Give yourself a plug.
Royce Johns, RoyceJohns.com, and Facebook / Royce Johns Music, or if you just type in Royce Johns, you'll find me on there, or any streaming platform. We always got the
Except
music on there.
Instagram, because he's not on Instagram.
I just deleted it
Just killed
yesterday.
it.
Yeah.
I just don't need it. There's enough.
She gone.
There's enough stuff out there.
If you like old school country, you like just good country, period.
Pure talent.
Check 'em out.
Pure talent. Fantastic sound. You've heard from him a couple times on this podcast. No, really have appreciated you being up here.
Thanks for having me, man.
So what do you think has made the people in your life successful?
I guess a cliche answer. It's good. It defines. It's what's your definition of success? Is it financial? Is it is it like an intrinsic value of like being an artist on whatever level of artist you are. If you're a musician, you want to be the best pedal steel player, best fiddle player, whatever. For me, it's freedom. It's having the freedom to make any choice, within like reason, and being able to be my own, make my own decisions. My pedal steel player, Dave Alstead, he's just one of my favorite people, and he always said something that made sense to me. He's one of the best pedals. Him and Al Cabela are the two best pedal steel players ever, like at least in Iowa and anywhere else. Dave once told me, I asked him, I'm like, man, he's just ridiculoly talented, right? He's a biologist. He has his pilot's license. He's just a very smart person. And I was like, why didn't you chase the Nashville thing in the '90s? Because he was always he was the house band leader at Toad Holler and Super Toad. Mm-hmm. And you guys might be too young to remember. But yeah, he got
older than you are.
I don't know, man, maybe. But he always told me, he's like, I just always want to be the master, I guess, of my own universe, or in control. And I didn't understand that, starting out, because I was chasing like I just want to be the most successful version of myself. I just want to work as hard as I can. But then I started finding out like, you have to define what your success is. There's people in Nashville that spend, their entire life for a piece of fame, and I have no desire for that. I want to have freedom. I want to, spend time with my family, and that's why I work as hard as I do, and I live as frugal as I do, and I drive a $3,000 car. I've done everything to it myself, all over the country, for the last 4 years of this thing, and when a lot of people I know are going out and buying new trucks every year because they got to keep up a country music image, and it's a joke. And it's like, the real, I think the real background of being like, not even just in country music, if anything, is, being, working as hard as you can and, doing shit that makes sense. And there's a lot of things a lot of people do that don't make sense to impress other people.
So I think you hit the nail on the head.
It's universal. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You could be a real estate broker, be a farmer, a musician, you could be a fisherman. It doesn't matter. You have tools of the trade. You have things that are essential, and then you have things that aren't essential to impress other people. Forget all the things that aren't essential to impress other people.
I don't think we've had an answer like that before, and I really appreciate you for bringing that up, that success can be different for every single person. Mm-hmm. The way you view success can be completely your own.
That's like, I think that's what it's all about, man. Because I've had many arguments with many people about, like man, I just, I want to make a living playing country music. And they're like, okay, well, you got to go spend $40,000 on promotion for this song. I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense. They're like, well, don't you want it to be in front of all these people? I'm like, well, what's the ROI of that? How does that make sense? And no, a lot of the time when people try to sell you into things like that, or
there's a lot of salt in that.
So what's the plan going forward? You're going to retire when you're 30, so you got 5 years here.
man.
You're not going to Nashville.
No.
You have no desire to tour and do that stuff. You're just going to keep grinding it out?
I just play in Iowa. For the most part, I play in Iowa. And I have to turn down more stuff than I take.
Absolutely.
I mean, I get like emails. Just think of, we got 99 counties here.
Hold on. Don't mind that. That's just the sheriff going by. Hey, for the first time, we haven't had a motorcycle yet.
Yeah, I
Must
know.
be getting cooler.
I know.
Go ahead.
But out of those just think of that. Out of those 99 counties, there's how many bars and how many town festivals, and I just
when I
answered
got
the
you
phone.
for my crawfish bowl, was that 2016 or 17?
Maybe I think it was early 17.
Early 17.
Maybe spring. Maybe
March?
like fall.
It was spring.
Yeah, it was March. We did
Okay.
like at the end of March. But yeah, I had to talk to you in I think it was October.
17 was my busy. I did 190 shows. At least like that I had recorded. I don't know if that was
we
just like on the
raised
calendar.
Just over $14,000 to send down to the wildfires in Texas and Colorado and all those, in Wyoming and all those places. So I mean, that was we had someone counted. Well, he couldn't count because people were in all, but someone at one point counted over 150 people just in the shop, and then there was probably double that outside. I mean,
Awesome.
that was a great night. So
Well, that's good. You gonna sign us off?
yeah. Crack a beer, mix a drink, stream some Royce Johns. You deserve it.
6/10 of a penny.
6/10 of a penny. We're going to send you out with another one of Roy's.
Every morning I wave goodbye, drive this old truck to the same old job, swinging hammers with the crew. About twice a day, DJ plays Brown Eyed Girl on the radio, and I stop everything I do, 'cause it takes me back to you. Now I don't have a lot I can call my own, a beat-up guitar and two-tone Silverado, and they don't mean much to me. I believe there's only one thing in my life that I can't lose, which brings me back to you. Most Friday nights I stop and have a beer with the boys, but I don't drink me more than two, 'cause I want that road to look straight and clear when it brings me back to you. Yeah, I don't have a lot I can call my own, a beat-up guitar and two-tone Silverado, and they don't mean much to me, 'cause I believe there's only one thing in my life that I can't lose, which brings me back to you. Well, I am who I am, and I know who I ain't, still tripping on that line between a sinner and a saint. Every morning I wave goodbye, I drive this old truck to the same old job.